it made me feel like, Andi, why you here? Why he here? It just, I guess because I don't even believe that Andi would be interested in a guy like him, and
Mm.
I haven't bought into it. I haven't even bought into the fact that he's an ex football player. He doesn't give me that. Professional football player, maybe high school quarterback, but not pro. Now I was kind of creeped out when she was like, Andi, don't let my brother fool you. He like had some devilish ways, and he gave her like a little growl. I was like, this don't feel right. Mm-mm.
The whole thing didn't feel right, honestly. Are we gonna start there? Where we starting at tonight?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, let you share your thoughts on the penthouse moment first. I'll be right back.
Uh, like you, okay, I was like, okay, is this a dream sequence? Because I just could not imagine Andi, Penelope, Gary, and Jordan together in one place. And I ain't gonna lie though, when Gary came over there and Andi was describing everything that she was cooking, and he had his nose, I mean, like his lips turned up, for whatever reason, that made me laugh. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was utterly hilarious. And honestly, I was like, Andi, I would have probably spit in his food. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna hold you. I just, that entire scene was just, I don't know. I don't know. Andi, stated that she doesn't have any hate in her heart because, Jordan is loving her so well. There's no room for hate. And I'm just like, well, baby, you saying that, but then you getting these strays. You firing off real, at the mouth. So I don't believe you. It was awkward. It was extremely cringy to watch all of them together as if 3 months ago it wasn't revealed that you were sleeping with my fiance. And why is Penelope still pregnant?
The way that everybody was trying to read my ass when I said that she was going to come back still pregnant, because for me in the trailer in that little pink thing she still looked a little pregnant, so I figured that she was going to come back a little pregnant. But everybody was like, but Erica, she's 7 months. And I was like, really? I don't know, I thought maybe she was 5 or 6, but she did say she was 7 months pregnant.
She said she was 7 months pregnant. I'm just like, this. I'll get to that part later. It was just the contrast of seeing her stomach and then Karen's.
Baby,
But anyway,
baby, Karen's stomach for the win, friend. Karen's stomach for the win, bro. Are you kidding me?
yeah,
I've been talking about her
yeah,
having twins for 2 years now.
yeah. But
Karen
should Fatima be
blew
three
up
months
out of
pregnant too?
nowhere, and they both have
But
very slim, petite physiques. Y'all gonna tell me there ain't two babies in that belly? Y'all gonna tell me there ain't two babies in
I
that
think
belly
it's
at
two.
6 months, 5 months? Where's she? Karen somewhere between 5 and 6 months. That's how big she is. She bigger than the lady who damn
Yeah,
pushing 10 months. Y'all gonna tell me there ain't two babies in that belly?
not 10 months. It's two windows, sis. It's two windows.
I don't want to be the girl to say I told you so, but I did. But I did. And I did.
And I want
No,
everybody to have that same energy. Where Fatima's stomach at? Where Fatima bulge at? Ain't she 3 months pregnant?
child, I'm gonna
Why
let
she
y'all
ain't
handle
showing?
that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna let y'all handle the Fatima thing because they on my head because I'm counting how many times she drank. And apparently me discussing if she is or is not pregnant means that I don't like Fatima, I guess. So I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and watch it. I've
Well,
already
I don't
decided that
believe she
she's not
pregnant
pregnant.
either.
I have already
And
decided that Tyler forgets what he writes, and this is gonna be one of those things that gets dropped on the cutting room floor because I didn't see no signs of her actually being pregnant in season 3, and the breakdowns that was coming out for those characters and all of the ghetto gutter shit that she's doing. I hope that she's not doing those things pregnant in season 3. But you know, that's just me. I'm gonna leave this to my good sis Allie. Allie's gonna watch out for the Fatima baby bump. I ain't gonna do it because I already get assassinated with all of the attacks of just how I don't like this character and I don't like this character. So I'm gonna let y'all have this one. Y'all could keep track of Fatima and her bump. Can you hear me, Allie?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. Yeah, the whole penthouse scene, I wanted it to just be a dream. First of all, let me before I even get into my thoughts on it, yeah. KJ. KJ Smith Black. KJ Black, I'm not sure how you're going. However you going, you pushing up through, mama. Like you're pushing up through. Andrea Barnes, for me, she always looks great. KJ's face card never declines, right? However, that black bandeau freaking pencil dress with the feathers, mama look good. Side part, swoop the. She looks amazing, which honestly put me in a place of like even more deflated when I look at her partner because old Jordan would have matched this new fly. This new Jordan gives a little bit too pedestrian to match this new fly. Like the new Jordan gives like I'm light skinned, but not I'm light skinned. Like I don't know how to describe it, y'all, but the new Jordan don't match the new
That
Andi
is a
fly,
perfect description.
and that's a problem. But then also, if you come in to make, if you calling these up to the penthouse to make amends, first of all, why are you cooking in the penthouse? This is a nice dinner conversation. If y'all have beef and have not spoken in 3 months, this is a nice dinner conversation. This is not one of those come up to the penthouse that he bought me so that we can talk conversations. Why are y'all in the penthouse? I really do not understand. Why are we in the penthouse? Why are you looking the way that you looking? And then Penelope, why are you going along with all of the goofiness? Miss Ma'ams? Why are we doing it? Everything about her scene just did not make no goddamn sense to me. But I was there for the looks. Like I was there to watch KJ look fucking amazing. I'm sorry, to watch Andi look fucking amazing because everything else made no damn sense. And then I was there for the shocker at the very end, which we'll discuss once we get to the end of the episode. But that whole moment, why you and your brother haven't talked in 3 months? Is it because you decided to keep Gary? That don't feel like a real enough reason for y'all to not talk, for you to not go to his house, for y'all to not connect. Like, I just don't understand.
It's probably just nasty. Like I said, I probably would have spit in Gary's food. I can't stand him. And I know he's going to touch on my last nerve this season, especially with how this episode ended, which we'll get into later. But no, that's all that's all. I don't have nothing else for them.
All right, where we going now? We got out of the cringy, weird penthouse. It wasn't a dream. I literally, honestly, y'all, I waited the entire episode. Literally the entire episode for it to, for like Andi to wake up. Similar to how Danny started the episode where she woke up from that dream. Which, you know what? I guess that's where we're going next. We're going to little Miss Daniella King.
Yeah.
Little Miss Gaslighter herself. Yeah, little Miss Dean of Deflection. You're not about to be in a position where Tony actually is doing his job as your man and you still acting a monkey fool. What's going to be the excuse this time? Somebody comes to you with some real rap raw, some honesty, some tea for you to be healthy, and you don't have nothing but a bunch of deflections and some gaslighting to throw back at it. But I thought everybody else was the problem. I thought Preston was the problem. I thought old boy before Preston was the problem. What you think, Allie?
Well, you know, we all know what the problem is. You know, I felt very conflicted because even though I do not like the way that Tony was presented to us, I actually liked him in this scene.
Yeah.
Um, I love the fact that he called Danny out on her deflection. And I love how he brought the conversation back to what he wanted to discuss with her as far as going to therapy and about, obviously she's been having these nightmares for the past 3 months. And the fact that he keeps pushing the idea of her going to therapy like it's a good thing. And I think Danny spoke truth the way a lot of people view therapy is like, oh, it's only for crazy people or for those who may be experiencing something so off the wall mentally.
Mm-hmm.
But no, not like the way he broke it down too. It's for people who are dealing with grief, people who are dealing with just anything. It's worth going. And I like the fact that he was stressing it, but he wasn't forcing.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think they could have did without the sex scene because, of course, I mean, them having sex because, of course, that's what Danny wants at the end of the day. But I like the way he handled that, the entire thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, am I going to like possibly, possibly
Leave it to Daniella. Leave
because
it to
he
Daniella to
handled it
make
so
me like
well.
one of these Negroes I have already written off. And the only way that she does it is by being more of her goofy ass self. Like at this point, Daniela, it's time to heal, mama. Like, what exactly is your goal here? You have been having nightmares for 3 months about being abducted and you don't want to do nothing about it? You automatically associate someone saying, hey, maybe you should talk to somebody to help you process to them calling you crazy? You matter of fact, like what did it for me, and I don't want to get on her head. Like this is season 7, this is season 2 of Our Sisters Keeper. I am trying to do better. Right? I'm trying to do better. But also, Daniela, you've been dating this man for 3 months and you didn't know he was in therapy? What are y'all actually talking about?
Right.
If you didn't know this man was in therapy and y'all have been dating for 3 months and he's sleeping at your house, it didn't come up. Oh, but other things are coming up and in. Like, what are we talking about? At this point, we're just engaging just too damn engaged, and you're too. I hate to say this, but you're too old for this. You are mid to late 30s, not having no type of meaningful conversation with your boyfriend of 3 months, suffering from PTSD and multiple traumatic wounds, not only physically but to your psyche. And all you're still doing after getting into a what looks like it's going to be a healthy relationship is smoking weed and still fucking on him? Girl. Nasty business, Daniela. It's
Yeah.
truly nasty business. I don't understand how you were. Well, I also don't know what Danny wants out of life, so I can't even project onto her like, how are you gonna have a family if you don't do this? Maybe she don't want a family. How are you gonna be a wife? Maybe she don't want to be a wife. Like, I don't know. Right? Y'all got to give us something because I don't know. I don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where it can't continue to be this way. Because I think when she mentioned something like, well, why didn't I know you were in therapy? And I want to say his response was like, it just never came up. I said,
Mm-hmm.
that's a problem. It
A big
never
one.
came up.
A
What do
big
y'all
problem.
discuss? What are those talks like? Because based on what he said to her tonight, it appears that they have intellectual, and I'm using that loosely, or maybe serious based conversations. But the fact that him being in therapy never came up in conversation, it's hard for me to believe that based on how he presented himself tonight. Like if she's been having these episodes for 3 months, you just now are recommending her go to therapy. Even though I enjoy watching it, it's just hard to believe that now he's presenting this new way of her to deal with her suppressed issues.
Yeah.
So it's real interesting.
But Lord, he's fine now. I feel like he got finer. He got finer this season. Is it just me?
No, he been fine. I've been saying this from the moment he popped up on our screen.
He been that fine though, Allie. I don't know if he been that fine. I don't.
He been that fine. He's been that fine. Yes. Nice, big, and chocolate. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, he's been big chocolate with nice skin and great teeth. I did say that. However, I think maybe the
And,
stalking was really
and
throwing
he's
me
thick.
off. Now that he's opened his mouth and said a lot more than me and my fellas are great. Jordan knows how to barbecue. I promise you we gonna be good. As long now he stopped saying that, I'm like, okay, now I can actually see what you got coming and what's behind this mess. Because every last one of these men, they led with their representative, and I think that that's low key that what gives me the ick. Like I get it. We have to be people's representatives because nobody's walking into certain interactions or just meeting somebody vulnerable and open and yada yada yada. But I'm like turned off by you and your representative and you and your sales pitch for how great of a person you are. Like actually show me. Stop telling me. Show me. And you sit in the bed with me at 3 o'clock in the morning after I just woke up from a freaking nightmare that I have been repeatedly having, and then you're like, look, okay, this is where the buck stopped. We're gonna talk about therapy. Now I can get with it. Now there's some meat, there's some potatoes there. There's something there. Especially when he said that he went to therapy after his divorce. So now I'm curious of like what did the obsessions look like? Because I had it
Yes.
pinned like Tony was maybe the type of guy that's gonna blame everything that happened in his marriage on his wife, his ex-wife. But maybe if he's in therapy, he actually knows his part. I don't know. What y'all think?
You know what I think? That's a good point, Erica. But I think for me, it feels like the writers have matured him because it felt like night and day from when we first were introduced to him, how he's been communicating thus far, and even tonight, I felt like I was watching two different characters.
Yeah, I agree.
It didn't even feel like who we were introduced to. It felt like a completely different person.
I agree. He definitely did feel more mature. And child, I just knew the other shoe was gonna drop when he went into that damn bathroom and he's looking behind himself and they get on the phone. I'm like, okay, of course you're too good to be true. Of course you in here doing some goofiness. But he wasn't. All he was doing was calling on Sabrina. Which I love the sentiment. I'm not gonna take this away from you. I'm just gonna make this note. This isn't a ding, but I'm gonna make this note. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. You couldn't have text Sabrina this? You couldn't have her come over first thing in the morning. Well, actually, maybe it's not 2 or 3 because she's still at the bank and not Monty and Rich showing up there, which we're gonna get to. I appreciate him calling her home girl, but I don't necessarily know if then was the time.
Yeah. I kind of figured that's what he was doing because when Sabrina answered the phone, I knew it wasn't Andi calling her to come over. I knew it wasn't Karen. And I'm like, I know Danny not calling her because Danny has, Tony over. I'm like, I think Tony called her when he went in the bathroom. I said, I think Tony's calling her. I appreciated it because I feel like, okay, it made me feel like he believes this is an urgent matter and Danny is not
Mm,
going to listen to me. So let me get somebody over here who I think can maybe get through to where I can't. Like, I think he feels it's that necessary that she sees someone. So I did like the sentiment of it. Now, I would have been mad if I'm thinking me and my man about to have sex or go for round two or something, and then my homegirl come through my door. What you doing, sis? Oh no, we good. We talk tomorrow. But I do get it, and
yeah,
I can appreciate it.
yeah. So shout out to little Mr. Tony. Not him redeeming himself off the bat. Are we gonna go? We gonna go to Sabrina next, since she was the one that got called.
Are we gonna finish? Oh yeah. Sabrina.
Wait, we gotta finish what?
Yeah. No, that's what I was going to talk about the scene with her and Rich, but we going there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like little things from this episode.
I
This episode is
mean,
definitely a 6. One, because of Jordan, but then of two, there's still some through lines of some Tyler Perry writingisms. I know this is the new writers, but how did Rich get into this bank? If Sabrina's the manager and it's closed, how did he walk in here? I know I'm supposed to stay focused on the matter at hand, but the specifics get to me. Like all of that builds the world and helps you buy into and believe in what's actually going on, and that's why they are so damn important. So like, that set them up poorly. Of like, I get it, Rich is a great boyfriend and he's bringing flowers and they have like been dating and all, it's so cute, but it's like you kind of set them up on the wrong foot for people who pay attention to the whole thing, like myself. Because if I can't believe that he actually got in this damn bank, do I believe that their relationship is as cute and solid as it is, as it looks? I don't know. Is that just me? How you feel about that, Allie? Am I nitpicking?
Girl, first of all, I said, who else is in the bank? Because I'm like, how did he get in? It's dark. The door is locked. So it made me think, okay, are we going to experience something else traumatic happening at the bank? Because how was he able to gain access after hours? So that was that was my first thought. And it's sad because I do agree with you. Stuff like that kind of takes me out of the scene.
Yeah.
It's like I try not to think about it, but it's like I can't help not to like it sparks the question: how did he get in here? Who else is in the bank? Is the manager there? Do they know Rich well enough that, oh, that's Sabrina man, that he's okay to come in? Like, it's just weird.
Yeah.
Or even the fact they wouldn't call her to say, hey, Sabrina, Rich is outside, or Rich is, is it okay to let? That didn't happen. So it was just, I'm trying to give these people grace. I'm like, it's the first episode, I get it. But stuff like that is just too vitally important to just not allow continuity to play a role in the show.
Yeah. And then for them to go on and do what they did, like they start to get real hot and heavy. It's like, okay, so this bank need to be closed because Sabrina, your ass is finna be fired. Like, it just, from there, it just built upon unrealistic after unrealistic after unrealistic. And it's interesting. I think that the choice to have Rich still in a space of simply complimenting Sabrina versus having Tony in a space of speaking truth to a current circumstance that Danny is experiencing, it really kind of helped, like, it's helping me shift perspectives. Like, I was very hopeful for Rich and Sabrina, and I was like, really like looking like Tony and Danny are not going to make it. But to see the scene at the bank with Rich and Sabrina, it still feels a lot like his representative is here. And it's not to say that he can't big her up and he can't, like, tell her she's beautiful and tell her the bank would be nothing without her. But, like, I'm still waiting on the what else. And I guess Tony has given us the what else, and Rich is, like, not giving us the what else yet. Save Sister 1965 says he's been coming to the bank. It's been 3 months. But see, even that is thrown off because Sabrina starts the scene off setting down a photo of her and the girls, as if this is like her moving back into her old office. So it seems like she actually has not been in this branch of the bank this whole entire time, which does not help with the how the hell did you get in here? There's nobody moving around in the back or the background. So it's not like, it doesn't look like the bank is actually open. So yeah, y'all, it takes you out.
Yeah.
Christy says, I was like, not Sabrina trying to lose her job again.
I'm like, girl, you just literally setting up your office. And what took you so long to start? I'm trying to understand.
Yeah, because, old girl was trying to get her to start the next day or that Monday, but it was the downtown branch. And then the way that Sabrina was talking, it seemed like she never made it to the downtown branch. So I'm like, girl, what have you been doing for 3 months? Is that how you read it?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, child.
Y'all, sorry if this is going in and out. We also had a bunch of storms here, so I'm guessing Spectrum is set tripping. And that's why y'all are getting a bunch of, like, cutting in and out. DNC Greatness says, I have zero care for Rich and Sabrina as a romantic item.
It's raining where you are?
Yeah, girl, it's storming, actually. And I'm like,
oh,
they be lying.
Okay.
When they say it don't rain in Southern California, they lied. In January and February, it gets real. And it gets cold. DNC Greatness says, I feel like she is in love with Calvin deep down, but is stuck on the idea in her mind of what a man is supposed to be, so she self-sabotages things. Okay. All right. So the Calvinness of it all. You've been dating this
Yeah.
foreign ass black man for 3 months, and you worried about Calvin packing his raggedy ass duffel bag up and leaving. From what I can tell, like y'all had sex, but it didn't look like you was getting what you needed or what you wanted from that. So much of y'all's relationship was spent on you trying to acclimate and become okay with what he was providing for you. So let it go, Miss Mamas. You have wanted this entire time a man is gonna bend your ass over this desk at this bank. So like what, Sabrina, don't do too much. Her worrying about Calvin packing his raggedy ass duffel bag up and leaving with the white lady. I'm like, ma'am, absolutely not. We have way bigger fish to fry. Y'all were friends, if anything, and maybe you could be concerned as a friend. But like, even the whole Calvin didn't want to tell you because you would have made him stay. Does he not know that you've been fucking this tall nigga this whole time, this last 3 months, because you wasn't on him? So 3 months has passed, and Calvin can't even say goodbye because you gonna make him stay, but you ain't been fucking on him. You dating a fine dude. Like, so much of the math just does not mathing for me.
Uh, right there with you, sis. I said, first of all, why is Sabrina upset about Calvin leaving and about him being with this white girl? So obviously, Sabrina knew about the white chick because he was like, she stated, well, he left with a snow bunny he just started like messing with. Okay, so that means I'm going to take it that Calvin was aware of the guy that she's been with. But the interesting thing gets to me. Sabrina and Maurice are best friends. I know they talk just about every day. And it just happened to slip his mind that Calvin bounced and moved out of the city with a woman. How? How did that happen? I said, yeah, that didn't make sense to me. Um, when he made that statement, but I do like Anthony Dalton, the guy who plays Calvin. I just think he could have got a better send off than that. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, it gave very much so. Like, I'm not a football fan, y'all, but I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna use this analogy. It's giving the Cleveland Browns leaving in the middle of the night, and now next thing you know, they're the Baltimore Ravens. That's what I heard the story was. That's what it's giving. Because what? He just left with a white. And then, like, why is that the specifics? Like, why didn't he leave? Why didn't the mother of his son moved and he's trying to maintain a relationship? He feel disconnected because he's not been focused and he went to go be with his son or to go like, you know what I'm saying? Anything other than he just picked up and left the city with a white lady. Like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to repost this because I'm definitely recording. Hopefully I can, because I don't know why it's cutting in and out. And to send him off with a Becky, Erica James said exactly.
He was his dad. Maybe he missed his father. He could have moved to Florida to be with his dad. His dad
Yeah.
was having a hard time. Anything other than he left with this white woman. But then I guess they used that to say he got with somebody who was accepting of his sexual preferences and the things that he enjoyed to do in the bedroom, which Sabrina was not. And I'm just like, all right, y'all. All right.
Yeah. Heavy on the all right, because not too much. Like, I recently saw a conversation around how the series should end, and it was put forth that all of the women except for Fatima need to suffer because they didn't accept the men that wanted them at the time that they wanted them. And for me, this has that same tone. Like, the whole he ran off with a white woman who was going to accept him because you didn't gives like you should take whatever is offered to you. You need to like whoever likes you. Like if you're not aligned, you're not aligned. Nobody is obligated to partner, to be sexually intimate with, or to do whatever in life with somebody simply because that person wants to do it with you. You liking me is your problem. It don't become my problem until I like you back. And you can't guilt me into liking you back. You can't shame me into liking you back. Like you can't blackmail me into liking you back. I hate the idea that black women need to take whatever is handed to them in the moment that it's handed to them because it's so damn scarce out here. You ain't gonna have nothing else. Then I won't have nothing else but my motherfucking self, and that'll be fine.
I ain't gonna lie, this may be like a toxic part of my being, but I was down for Sabrina wanting to get down in the car.
Okay.
She forgot about Calvin real quick. She forgot about him real quick. I said, "Like, girl, don't do this in your office, lose your job." But the car,
yeah,
because
that was
I
my
don't take
biggest part
Sabrina
about the
being
the
that
whole
person who would do
the
that, but
bending her over in the bank. I was just like, it's too much that has gone down in this bank. She don't need to do nothing but file papers and do whatever the hell her job is here. Anywhere else, that's your man. So go ahead. So no, that don't make you toxic, friend. That makes you adventurous.
you know, we gotta. But I am happy for Sabrina because I think that we really haven't seen her in this space of being with someone that she really likes.
Mm-hmm.
And I am excited to see this journey for her. Um, for me, I always felt like Tyler never really gave her and Calvin an opportunity to actually become something. And so I like this for her, and where it's going, her storyline for this season and the things that's going to come. I think we're going to see a stretching in her character. And I'm really looking forward to that when it does happen. But I'm excited. You know, she getting a little, getting it in with somebody she enjoys. And I that's good for her. That's good for her.
Child, okay, headed over to the salon. First of all, I was excited about the damn initials, but now that I know what the initials stand for with this damn KFS, I'm not here for it. Why do you have to name the salon that? Like,
It,
like, why do we got to be so on the nose? Where's the nuance? Vaughn C. X, what did you think about the explanation given for Brian's departure? Hated it. Absolutely hated it. But love seeing Karen in all of her pregnant with twins glory. Okay? Miss Mamas is glowing. Pam looks amazing. Their chemistry, their comedic timing is still brilliant. I cannot wait till the salon opens back up and we get to see them in action again. I have been missing Pam's energy. I love everything about this moment for Karen. I swear I do.
Because I think somebody asked something what was going on with her face. I think she's lost weight. And for me, that's what it looked like to me. And you can tell in her face. But I even like the hair that she's wearing now.
Yeah.
It suits her very well.
She looks
me.
amazing.
I thought it suited her very well.
She definitely looks great. The name
What was the name?
A Noel is Karen's Fresh Start. So the initials that are on the door and the windows or whatever is KFS. So the salon is called Karen's Fresh Start. I don't know why, but I hate that name. It don't give as polished and refined as I thought it would.
Restaurant.
You said it sound like a restaurant?
That sounds like a restaurant. Yeah, it sounds like a fresh market.
Right. It don't sound like a hair salon. It don't sound like you finna be fried, dyed, and laid to the side.
I just love the interaction between her and Pam. I like their camaraderie and I do like their banter. And I think a lot of people misread what is actually happening between them because I see so many things like Karen always treat Pam crazy. And I'm like, that's just their banter. Pam don't be paying no attention to Karen. And vice versa. Like I love that dynamic. It's like having your work best friend.
Literally.
Like I really do enjoy their dynamic and I think it has come a long way. It has, because Pam used to annoy the hell out of me. And I really adore her character just by her stance on being truly a friend to Karen. So, excuse me, I enjoyed them. I really do.
Same. And Pam gonna be messy, but she also know where all the bodies are buried. She's talking about, so why don't you call up one of your mans? I love the subtle nod of like, Karen, you still want it and desire it out here in these streets. You could still call Aaron and he'll pop up tomorrow, which at this point, Aaron is the only one who got a decent send off. um and then she's like, well, then
That's
call
true.
Zach because he's your baby daddy. And I ain't even gonna hold you. I enjoyed the jokes that Karen had. I don't want to hear from nobody about Karen having Zach or Fatima name in their mouth, in her mouth, because they keep her name in their mouth. They keep it. They always got something quick to say, and I'm like, about time Karen got something on her end, because Fatima jealous. Well, she is. I don't want no parts of it. Like, I love this for her. When I tell you I am enjoying every step that we are having on this particular part of Karen Mott's journey, I am enjoying it. Sorry, the name of her new salon is Karen's Fresh
Baby,
Start.
when Karen
KFS.
said, I literally hollered. When Karen said, I don't want Zach or Fatima in my shop unless she's trying to come here and get her edges laid down properly. I said, for a change. Get her edges laid down properly for a change. I said, baby, Karen,
I said, talk
that
your
was so,
talk,
I'm here for
Karen.
it, sis.
Talk your talk.
I'm here for it. I'm here
Love
for it.
that. Zach
Yeah.
can't come up in here because then Fatima gonna take a piece of him or whatever she said, gonna hurt him or something. Well,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
points were made.
Oh,
That's
well.
pretty much everything that went down in this
But yeah.
episode.
And I like that even when, oh, no, I was saying, shoot. Oh, even when Pam was going out and she invited Karen, and Karen was like, even if I was trying to mingle, ain't nobody trying to, get with no pregnant woman. And Pam was like, girl, you pregnant, not dead.
Hello.
Which was a total contrast from the last conversation we saw between her and Danny. And I just thought that was really good because I know which I thought was a great point to make, because I know some people, when they get pregnant, they feel like their friends kind of leave them out of things.
Yep.
And I enjoyed the fact that Pam didn't mind including Karen on her excursion of going to this club or wherever she was going after she left the salon. So I thought that was I give the writers kudos for that, because I thought it was a good gesture to invite her out, even though she is, good and pregnant.
I agree. Orange Pepper says Pam is a real friend. Exactly. In real life.
She is.
You got any additional overall thoughts of the episode, Allie? You can also see Karen feeling Zach. I know some may not agree. We can all agree to disagree. I don't know how she's feeling Zach in this episode, but some of y'all are like gonna be stuck on it, and that's just what it is. There's people who are just going to need to keep Karen in a place of the angry, bitter black villain, so that they can continue to praise and to prop up Zach and Fatima. If Karen is not the villain, if Karen has let Zach go, if Karen has freed herself from the shackles that was the love that she had for him and is able to step outside of that and see it for what it is, then that's one less thing that props up the pedestal that some of y'all have built for Zatima. So I understand why you cling to it so very hard. In this episode, there was nothing about anything that Karen did or said that pointed to her having feelings still for Zach. And for all intents and purposes, she was going out of her way to make sure that she did not encroach on his life in any way or call him unnecessarily. The energy that I felt like she was giving off was, I'm going to call him when I go into labor. Other than that, God bless. That is Fatima's problem now. But again, some of y'all are going to go to y'all's graves saying that she wants him. So It's not even agreeing to disagree. It's agreeing to let you believe whatever you need to believe for your story to be true, for you to continue in your delusion. Because who am I to knock somebody's delusion?
Oh, Zach and Fatima.
Oh, I forgot about them, huh?
First of all, we don't know what time it was. We know it was at night.
Ellie, wait. I really thought we was at the end of the episode. I am not even playing no game. Like, I totally forgot about their scenes. I thought we were done. Wow, Erica. Wow. That goes to show you. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Say your piece about the scenes, friend. Wow.
I remember when told Andi that you're only my boss between 8 and 5. My office hours, the office hours. Why the hell are you calling Andi at night because she's Zach's lawyer? I said, so now the divorce attorney is doing custody, family court. Okay, we'll rock with that. If I was Andi, I wouldn't have answered my phone because I don't need to calm you down like you a 13-year-old child having a nightmare. You already got your girl there with you. Then, if I was Andi, and once I found out why the hell they was calling me, I would have hung up on them. And I would have told her like Big Red told them in the 5 heartbeats, my office hours are from. My office hours are from. Okay, because that's what you told me, sis. That thing, when Andi said, well, you can't do that, Zach, because she can get you for harassment. Me harassing? I'm like, how many times have y'all showed up at that girl house unannounced and uninvited? Because the last time you was there, you knocked on the door and told her to answer it. I said, I just can't. I just can't. I really can't. And please go whole season 7 without putting a damn. Please give her something to do besides being in everybody else's business. That's all I got for them.
The math was not mathing in this team of scene for me. Plain and simple. It just was not mathing. Visually, we need to see more. I am not in a place of like not having empathy for Zach for wanting to pull his child out of poverty and out of abuse and out of this circumstance that's going to taint him in his childhood. I understand how Zach has a deep personal tie to this particular experience when it comes to abuse as a child. I get it. I get all of it. However, I'm tired of seeing Zach sit on this couch and say, my son, my son, my son, my son. I can't eat without my son. I can't sleep without my son. I'm tired. Fatima said, okay, what else is it that you want to do? You done went down to the toy store and you done bought all the toys to put him in his room. What room? What room? There been one room in the duplex. We could have seen Zach building Michael's room, and that would have been a better use of their time in telling the story of Zach's desperate pursuit to get custody of his son. Having him sit on this damn couch and have Fatima rub his back and woo him I'm over it. And I really believe that I forgot about their scenes as compared to the Sabrina and Rich scenes, because they both felt like the math is not mathing, because we've already seen these Fatima scenes before. We have already heard him say this multiple times. We have already heard her say this multiple times. And to go to what Allie was saying about y'all calling Andi, like, you just told us and him that he hired the best family attorney there is, and then you turn around and say that Andi is the attorney. So which one is it? So much of the math is not mathing. Fatima, when the man said that he couldn't figure out nothing and he didn't figure out, he don't know nothing else to do, but he would have sex. Why didn't you just have sex with him right then and there? Because that's what you're here for. You're here to fix his problems and to have sex with him. I need him to stop hollering, my son, my son, my son, my son. Because I am checked out. I am truly checked out. Show us. Stop telling us. You done did everything that there is to possibly do. Show Zach at the toy store going to go buy stuff for him. Because up till now, we have only seen Karen buy stuff for the boy. We have seen you lay him on a leather couch and cover him in pillows. That's what we've seen you do. And we've seen you kidnap him from his mama. That's what we've seen you do. So I'm not there yet. I'm not going 100% off y'all's word of like, oh, you're doing everything you can. You moving mountains and like you're doing all of this to make sure that you get your son back. Like, and then Fatima, I get it, girl. You're a ride or die. Nobody's ever going to take that title from you. But also, like, is Zach back in therapy? Because the one session is not enough. At its core, y'all, yes, Michael should not be tied up in the bathtub. Heather should not be doing certain things. She should not be doing things to him. She should not be saying things to him. Yes. And it's a process to actually get custody. Along the process, along that journey, Zach needs to deal with and unpack how he is hyper fixated on this particular circumstance because of his trauma. Those things could be happening. Zach can't find nothing else better to do. Take his ass to therapy. He can't find nothing else better to do. Journal. Because at the end of the day, this whole holier than thou, I gotta save my son. Meanwhile, you're not fully equipped yourself. You think that just being in your custody is gonna save him, but you still haven't unpacked and really dealt with all the that you carrying that you have experienced like him. It's not gonna save Michael just because you know what he's been through. You know what he's been through, and what resources do you have to help him heal from it? What books have you read? What emotional intelligence things can you teach him? Hell, what emotional regulation things can you teach him? Because I could imagine being tied up in the bathtub as a 3-year-old, that's going to incite some anger. What can you teach Michael about being angry and handle his anger? These are all things that they could show us in reference to Zach preparing to have custody of his damn son. But they consistently keep showing us him sitting on this couch or sitting in the car or sitting somewhere hollering about, Heather ain't I want my son. Show me show me how bad you want your son. I want my son so bad I'm doing 2-a-days in therapy. I want my son so bad I'm reading What to Expect When Expecting, even though I wasn't there while she was pregnant. I want my son so bad I done been to 5 schools and I'm thinking we need to move because I don't like the schools in this neighborhood. These are all of the things that Zach could be saying aside from my son. I just don't know what to do without my son. I'm sorry, y'all. That was definitely just a rant, Alien. I definitely monopolized the conversation. But those are just some thoughts about that.
No, I feel the same way. And I do want to point out what Erica James said because I think it's so vitally important, but a lot of the fans miss this point. It's obvious Heather didn't have a great upbringing either. Because she said, that's how I was raised, or that's how I was brought up when she had him tied to the tub, or whatever the case may be. And I think the fact that Zach has played so much on the type of mother he had, the way he was raised, he has used that so many times as a justification for his actions or the words he's spoken to women. However, and I think that's why I've had such a issue with the way that Heather has been displayed to us, because I'm like, they probably come from the same type of environment growing up. So why do you get a pass and she doesn't? Why is she a horrible mother, but you finna be the greatest father in the world? I just have a big issue with that. And so much he contributes to Fatima. Well, if you weren't here, I don't know where I would be. I wouldn't know what to do. You have access to lawyers because Fatima works at a law firm. And I think you made a great point last week, how Zach has been provided everything that he needs. He has had in a black woman. He has chosen to mess those things up. But you have always had a safe landing. You have always had a safe place to lay your head when things weren't going right with you. Someone has always been there to pick up the pieces. And Fatima is still there picking up the pieces. It is obvious that Heather doesn't have this. So the only thing that she has that may love her unconditionally is her son. And that's the one thing you want to take away. I just wish there was so much more with this storyline other than Heather's a bad mother. Let's take the baby out of her custody. Yeah. I think it was a a wasted opportunity to show so much more. That probably would have made me appreciate the character of Zach even the more. But
Hell, they could have even integrated Heather
no.
into it where she do ultimately lose custody, but she learns along the way of like, okay, there's other ways to live. She could be exposed to not necessarily become friends with the girls, but be exposed or run into them and be on the periphery, and you get to see that part of the story play out. Like, I'm the one thing I'm actually really glad about is that they did not just simply take Michael from Heather and give him to Zach. I don't like the idea of a child being in foster care. I don't like that, but I love that he's not immediately taken from one place to the next, because to me that shows that one, that there's a process, and then this is the real where they could literally show what it looks like on both sides. They both fighting for the same thing, and if Heather's on this end, she has to learn how to be a better mother to possibly even have the opportunity to keep her son. And Zach is trying to prove that he's capable of being a father. You get to watch two people really grow and improve, if that's what you really want to put the characters into in reference to the circumstances. I feel like that would be a really, really solid story. But we're so stuck in the muck of like, oh, Zach just feels sad and Zach just feels bad. But like, okay, so then what the hell are you going to do with these feelings? What are you going to do with the guilt? What are you going to do with the frustration? What are you going to do with the anger? Like, at this point, and I feel like a broken record, but I'm going to keep on saying it because I'm going to speak it how I feel it. People come at me for my criticisms and my attempts to hold Zach accountable, but you don't fully address, when you do so, the fact that money don't fix much of nothing except for your ability to pay bills. Zach is a millionaire now, but he still has a very broke mentality. He still has a very thug mentality. And that's no shade to thugs. Like, there still needs to be some growth as a person for you to now operate at this level that you think that you at, because you're not there. You look like you're there, but mentally you're not there. Emotionally, you're not there. And when are we going to actually require him to get to that level before we give him the reward of treating him like he's on that level?
Thanks.
Erica James says, Ellie and Erica get it. That's why I F with them. I appreciate y'all for hanging in there with us on this live. And it will be re-uploaded because I am recording. So I'm probably going to have to upload the like clean version that doesn't give the buffering because of whatever the internet issues that are going on. So if you miss some things, when I re-upload, catch the rewatch. But sorry, Allie, did you have anything to say in reference to what I just said?
I agree with everything that you stated, and I feel like, as a collective, like the fandom and everything like that, I think sometimes, we ride this, we could get on the sisters because they deserve it. They deserve it. But I do find it interesting the people who have so much grace for Zach. Like, I do understand having grace for all the characters, but there comes a point where you have to call him out for the things that he does. When you mention about what can he teach his son, what emotional intelligence does Zach have in order to teach his son what to do when you're angry, this pent up aggression that you have. And for those of us who watch Zatima, we know very well that Zach does not know how to deal with those things with his mother. He was still dealing with those things as she was dying. The only thing that, to me, that we've seen Zach do when he gets in those places is sex it out. You can't teach a 3-year-old that. Just like today, what we saw, I don't know what to do. I did everything I could do. He went through so many emotions, but everything led back to sex. Like, that was a very interesting thing that for me that we saw. He was so distraught. He didn't know what to do. Well, I just need to take my mind off things. Okay, baby, well, meditate. But there's other things that we can do. Don't nobody want to have sex with you right now after you over here crying about your baby. Like, why is that always your go-to? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, why is that your go-to? So it's gonna be very interesting watching this. I don't want these writers to disappoint me in what they do with Zach and Fatima. I just hope I hope they don't.
Chi-Town
I just hope
Girl
they don't.
33
That's all
says
I'm
he
gonna
been
say.
taken care of by black women for the longest. Big facts. Um, Allie, I ain't even gonna hold you. This is probably the first time in the series history that I was actually rooting for Fatima to have sex because I just needed Zach to shut up. So I said, Fatima, can you please give him some so he can shut up? Please.
God.
Please. I know he be weighing you out, but Miss Mamas, I can't take it right now. Like, I just cannot take no more. He got nothing but a bunch of toys and stuff in his room. Where's any of the kids' stuff down here? I don't see a lick of nothing down here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know
Yeah,
people gonna
child.
be so mad. They y'all some interesting folks have taken things that I have said and then changed it to what they heard and then went over to Twitter and decided to talk about what they said I said, which is
They
really
sure
what
did.
they heard versus what I said. And I know that y'all gonna have a field day with this one. I pray
Oh
that
yeah.
more people can understand a love so deep and so real that it's honest. That it feels good when it feels good, but it also might hurt or might sting a little bit because it's coming to you and telling you what you need to hear and not just what you want to hear.
Facts.
I can't believe I really thought we was pretty much done until you said there's a team scene. I totally forgot. I can't do that for the breakdown. Let me remember them for the breakdown. I feel like that's part of it. Like
Girl,
maybe
I ain't
I'm gonna
forget
just
about
check
them.
it
I was
out
just
too.
like, I was like, oh, this is the same conversation we heard in season 6, episodes 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22. Now we season 7, and we having the same damn conversation yet again.
Yet again.
My
It
son,
also
girl.
doesn't do
My son, girl.
Devale,
Do it.
the
My
actor,
son,
no
girl.
justice. In all honesty, like having him, like I get it. You can't just come up with a bunch of new things every single episode in new places. Like you're not trying to make it like a rocky roller coaster or anything. Um, but in keeping Zach in this very stagnant place, they are not accounted for the fact that they're not giving Devale room to touch something else, to go to a different place. Like it literally is the same performance for him because that's all that y'all require. Y'all having them say the same things, it's tapping on the exact same emotions. Like
Yeah.
it's boring.
Then he had the nerve to tell Fatima, when you become a lawyer, I said, she ain't even in school.
She ain't even in
She
school.
ain't.
The way that Fatima looked, I
She
look
ain't
like,
gonna
well,
become.
girl, do you look like you're not going back? Because it gives you not
Look,
going back. So
you ain't going back. You ain't going back, sis. When you become a lawyer, you know you can do the right thing. She'll never do the right thing because sis won't go back to school.
when does she have time to go back to school? She has to
She's
sit
not
on
in
this couch
school.
with you and say woo woo woo. When does she have time to study? When does she have time to read books that she likes and dive into philosophy? When does she have time to go back down to the karaoke place and or listen to jazz? When does she have time?
Yeah.
All right, y'all. I'm jumping into this
And
chat, see what
sis,
y'all are saying.
I just can't.
Y'all
Y'all
gonna
gonna
let
let
Fatima
Fatima
be
be
a
a
lawyer?
lawyer. Fatima
Is
don't
Fatima
want to be
gonna let
one
herself
back.
be a lawyer?
Fatima don't want to be one no more.
I would love that for her. I want whatever for her aside from just fixing all of Zach's problems. I want whatever for her individually that she could hope for herself individually. The problem is she has now packed up any desires and feelings and hopes that she has for herself and she has buried them inside of Zachary. And ma'am, this is not fences. This is not fences. If you need to look it up, go ahead and Google fences. And you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Um She's too busy defending him. She don't have time. Too busy mothering her fiance. Period. Way too busy.
I mean, this facts.
Carrie says, I've been saying that Fatima is following Karen's footsteps, and what gets me is the ZF fans choose to overlook it. They don't want to accept that Karen was good to Zach. At all. At all.
Mm, come on. Come on now.
But we know the truth, child. And at the end of the day, like I said, you leave people in their delusions if that's where they want to stay.
Leave them right there. Leave them right there.
Dana Lewis says she definitely puts herself second to him, but she's a rider. I laughed when he said, I know you didn't start without me. Tiffany Banks says a rider doesn't baby you. Ooh.
Come on.
I mean, can we talk about the
See,
ride or die
this.
trope for a second, Allie?
You said ride or die?
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
at this point, I'm just gonna go ahead and die. Like, I'm done riding. I'm just gonna die because I don't have any more ride or dies in me in my 30s, and that does not mean that I do not have a healthy relationship where I am able to go through seasons of submission and support as needed for a man who has some sense and is not requiring too much of me outside of what I need to do for my own well-being and health. That's a very different thing. I think it's time to put the ride or die trope label and the desire to achieve such to bed. Because even Fatima, as she personifies it, she pretty much says Zach can do anything and she's not going to leave. And what does that say about your boundaries, what you view as your self-worth, that you basically are giving this person carte blanche power to expose you to anything, and you're still going to be here all in the name of love?
You
I don't know,
know,
but in my 20s, it made more sense than it does right now.
yes. Yeah, I think that, and this is just me, I think sometimes saying someone is ride or die is synonymous for stupid.
Mm.
Like it's synonymous for, I think ride or die sounds good, but in actuality, it's stupidity because I feel like if I'm in a healthy relationship, then it is mutually beneficial for us both. What Fatima and Zach have is a one-sided situation. To so much so we know nothing pretty much. Fatima, how was your day? What are your desires? What you want to do? Everything is so Zach heavy. And I think that when we can destroy, as you stated, that ride or die trope and just deal with the fact that Fatima is being, she has lowered herself. And I think a lot of people get it confused with the fact of, oh, well, you just don't like her. Or it's not even that. Look at how Fatima was originally like represented or presented to us, and look at her now. She was about her business. She ain't got no business. She tends to everybody else's business. She's not in chain breakers anymore. She's not in school anymore. She's not doing any of those things. Everything extracurricular that she was doing before she got with Zach, she's not doing it now. And I know I saw on Twitter some people was like, and I think they were referring to us, was saying that Zach is the reason that Fatima is not in school. Well, hell yeah. I would say yes. She can't be in school because she's tending to every fire that he has. Baby, you don't get extra credit for stuff with lawyers because you helping him get one or you sitting in on these meetings. They don't do nothing for you. And my thing is, you putting Zach above your family because you told us the reason you wanted to be a lawyer was to help your family because you know the kind of stuff that they're in. So when did that go to the back burner? It is, Fatima has no storyline. Fatima is not doing anything. And I don't want to watch her for another 22 episodes just, okay, Andi, I got you what you need. All right, Gary, get the hell out my face. You've skated. You've skated too long. You need something to do. What are you here for? If not, send them back over to Zatima and let them stay. What are you doing over here? And I'm just tired of it. I want to see, because people be so quick to point out everybody else and really love the drag Karen. We know that. But it's like with Fatima, I agree with who said it. She's doing everything that Karen was doing. The things that we were not able to see. Even the things that we were able to see. And the people Zach gave Karen all his checks lies. He gave her 3. In 3 years, he gave her 3 and she gave them back to him. Let's not act like Zach was providing, Zach was doing what he do now, laying pipe. Great pipe, I might add, it seems like, but that's it. That is it. He literally went to therapy for a session just to get Fatima back. It wasn't for himself.
Just to get Fatima back.
It wasn't for himself. And now, you talked about therapy so much, the opening of season 6, you ain't mentioned therapy now. You ain't going back. Because you did it for an ill-intent reason, which was to get Fatima back in your good graces. Other than that, you ain't going to no darn therapy. At all.
At all.
So, no.
And quiet as kept, like while you were talking, what was coming up for me is Fatima basically Danny, but with a boyfriend that we already are invested in?
Somebody said that or you said that?
I just thought about that. Like you were like, she don't have a storyline, and I'm like, I agree. Like her storyline is literally everybody else. The best thing about the difference that Danny has is that her storyline is her running from her trauma. Fatima don't even have that. We're not even watching her run from her trauma or anything. Her storyline is literally what she's doing for everybody else. And now all of a sudden, now that she's in this relationship and in this committed relationship, it seems like she don't want nothing out of life. Similar to what the hell Danny got going on. What Fatima wants out of life is to make Zach happy. That's it.
Period.
It's very similar to Danny. What Danny wants out of life is to wake up the next morning and get high. That's it. I think they might be more alike than I had ever thought about. Only difference is we already invested in Zach as a man, so we care about what's actually going on. And Danny's like, I wasn't invested in Preston. Some of y'all was, but I was definitely not. I don't know. You think that's a fair comparison?
And that's definitely a fair comparison. It definitely is.
MJ
Danny
is
too
so
lazy
wrong.
To be Fatima.
If Fatima is not Danny, then what's the difference? What's the difference? Let's have the conversation. That's the point of this live. Like the point of this live is to process and to unpack feelings and thoughts around the circumstances and the characters that are placed in them on this show. If Fatima is not similar to Danny and currently at the space that she occupies right now, moving with no real purpose for herself and desires in her life, because that's what I have decided to, that's what I believe and have characterized Danny's character to be operating in. We have not seen Danny talk about anything that she wants in the future, if she wants to change jobs, have a man, but more so for the sake of not being alone, not necessarily like a specific. Like at this point, Danny, for me, keeps taking whatever man likes her. I don't even know what her type is. So if you don't agree, tell me what Fatima's storyline is that does not relate or is not built on fixing something for another character. What is she working on in her own life? What does she desire in her own life? Robert K said, can we move on from there, please? I really want to talk about it just real quick. Because the way that conversations happen when people take the things that I say and then twist them and go other places, it's like, well, the number one thing I see is we're all here for Fatima anyway. We're only watching because of Fatima. We're only watching because of Fatima. Who's trending every week? As if that is the thing that is directly correlated to the storylines and how the meat and potatoes of the actual story plays out. Who y'all identify with and have gravitated onto and have created toxic parasocial relationships with is completely different than who is actually the leads of this show, who is actually leading in reference to storylines and character development, all of that. Those things are not directly related. Just because y'all make Fatima trend every week don't mean that she has a purpose for herself as an individual. Doesn't mean that she's doing a great job of telling the beautiful story of a black woman who is fully actualized and has not now centered her entire life around her man. It just means that she's trending. It just, for me, it means when I see it, it means y'all like to look at her. And Crystal is gorgeous to look at. Devale is gorgeous to look at. So y'all like to look at them together. And y'all make y'all little edits and y'all get all swoony and like, oh my God, mom and dad, and all of these other things that have nothing to do with the story. Have nothing to do with the meat and potatoes that we're seeing play out. But I think I just went on a tangent, Ailey. Oh, A Noel says, I said that Fatima came in and took all of Danny's characteristics. Last season when Zach made a comment to Danny that her and Fatima were basically the same person, I screamed. He said that? I don't even remember him saying that. But I see it. I see it now. I see it now. The lack of personal drive is allowing me to see it. Sorry, did I interrupt you, Allie?
I was reading the comments, what people were saying, and I think it goes back to like, for the people who are in the chat who really do, who love them as a whole, it's kind of difficult to get like engaging comments because we know the ones who don't really care for them, and the ones who do care for them, their responses are almost like the couple, no depth, or it's very surface, like, oh, they look good together, or they have great chemistry, or whatever. It's not really a pulling factor as to why people are so, like, you know, engulfed in them as a couple, other than the fact they're aesthetically they're gorgeous together. But you know, that's how that go. Nothing against y'all lives because I love them, but Zach and Tim is a warfist. Oh my God. But tell us how you feel, Robin K. Appreciate you though. That's funny.
All right, change the subject. We going to the very end of the episode with the panty sniffer.
That was so disgusting.
The way I cackle, Allie, I cackled for at least 10 minutes. I couldn't even move out of the position that I was in because I was staring at the TV in shock, cackling. Like, why? Why are you sniffing her panties and rubbing one out in her bathroom? What are we doing? And then y'all have the nerve to come for me talking about, we don't need to know no reason why he doing the things that we doing. Now we need a reason why. Why are you in her bathroom rubbing one out while sniffing her clean panties? And I don't know if something's wrong with me, but as soon as he picked them up from out her drawer, I was like, these things are clean. So like, what are you actually smelling for? Because you're not smelling. Like, okay, anyway. Why, Gary? Why? And it just added to the kerfuffle that was that entire moment in the penthouse because y'all shouldn't be here for dinner regardless. I don't give a damn about how y'all trying to be cool or whatever, but it just added a weird ass cringy cherry onto this weird ass cringy pie of a fucking night. And now I'm just like, I can never take Andrea Barnes seriously moving forward. Cause what are we doing?
I think I was at a loss for words. I think I really was. Because why is this happening? Why is this happening? I don't, girl, it was just disgusting. It was absolutely disgusting. And then when Penelope walked in, he gonna tell her it's not what you think. Your pants are down, your friend is in your hand, and you have the panties in your other one. It's exactly what she thinks is going on.
It's exactly
How
what I
do you
think.
explain it? Because it looks like he was.
It's
reaching
exactly
his
what
point
I
of climax.
think.
Disgusting. You can't explain that. And then you've been gone. You wouldn't use the restroom. You be in the restroom forever. I don't even think you ate the girl food. So it was just, girl. I hope Jordan punched like that. Oh, and Andi,
Y'all, this
I
is
forgot
why
to
we need a
mention it.
why
Maybe it
though.
was
We need a
Gary's part.
why. I've been asking for the why for Gary for so long. We definitely need a why now. Are you in love with Andrea or are you just obsessed? What is this? We need something to make sense of it because this makes absolutely no sense. It's been 3 months that you haven't seen Andi, and the first thing that you do is come in here playing nice and getting nasty and then going to her bathroom and sniffing her panties and rubbing one out?
Yeah,
What?
but I
What you
was
say?
utterly disgusted. I was shocked. I think that Gary is obsessed with Andi, and I think it's pissing him off that he can't have her and to be in such close proximity to her and to see her with another man. And she rubbed it in his face. Oh, Jordan feels me in every way. I said, girl, shut up. We know you talking about sex, but ooh, girl,
But he also has been maintaining relationships with like dozens of women. He's given dozens of women rings. Like y'all got to give me answers. Cause yes, Andrea Barnes is a baddie, but for all this, she's warranting all of this. And also, Gary, where the hell is your kids? You talking about your unborn that's sitting right next to you, but you have two other kids, one of which with autism. Where are those children? How am I supposed to give a damn or think that you're going to give a damn about this kid in her belly when you don't give a damn about the kids that's already walking this earth? I forgot to say that earlier,
okay,
y'all.
yeah.
Y'all, he rubbed one out. I can't even like. I'm giving these writers space and grace, but baby, y'all are so
I
unserious
said
with
I,
that one.
I said I was gonna wait to the second episode. Well, I'm gonna give them three. I'm gonna give them. I'm gonna give them a shot. I will give them the fact that the dialogue is a whole lot better. We ain't got a whole lot of repeating stuff and the dumb questions.
Yes.
Um, I saw well the preview for next week, baby.
I didn't watch it.
Now
I didn't
how they
watch it.
do this, huh?
I didn't watch it. Go ahead. I have no idea what's happening next week.
Because this is the brunch,
Mm.
and if we're talking about well, Karen wasn't there, and when Karen walked in, she see her friends toasting it up with Fatima, and I think she walked out. So I said, Karen ain't even at the brunch, and y'all talking about her pregnancy with Fatima there. No, I ain't gonna jump
Karen,
ahead. I'm
back
gonna
your shit
wait the
up, cause
next week.
girl,
But the fact I'm like Karen isn't there. Karen and Fatima obviously are they ain't even cool like that. Why is her name even? Why is she a topic of discussion? But as I said, I do my little what I think gonna happen. But I was rubbed the wrong way with that. I'm like new writers. This better not be Tyler Perry 2.0, and y'all trying to drag Karen and make it seem. Karen just better stick with Pam
she gotta stick with Pam. At this point, that's
because these
it.
other ones they kind of
We
shake.
don't need nothing else. All we need is Pam. I didn't.
Yeah,
Ooh, if Karen is not at this brunch and they talking about her pregnancy, I think I seen something because I was still trying to finish my makeup
she's
real
not
quick.
at the
Something
brunch.
about Zach Jr. Is she mad about Zach Jr.?
They did say something about Zach Jr. and they was like, "Oh, that's the name." It was something like that. But it was just the fact that when I saw all the girls, I said, "Oh, okay, so they going to brunch." Wait a minute. I said, "Karen ain't over there." And then when Karen walked in, she saw them toasting, and she kind of looked like, "What the hell?" And it looked like she was about to walk out the restaurant because it appeared she didn't know Fatima would be there. That's how it appeared.
Hmm.
I said, "Baby, did y'all see that? The ones who saw it, is that what y'all got from it? That she didn't? It didn't look like she didn't know Fatima was gonna be there." Tiffany Banks said, "Were they talking about Karen or Fatima because they cannot address Fatima's pregnancy?" I'm thinking they was talking about Karen because I don't think it's been revealed that Fatima is pregnant
Fatima is not pregnant.
just yet. I,
Oh gosh.
yeah, so this looks like it's gonna be some mess.
Yeah, I'm gonna do my preview and then get into it. I'm gonna watch the trailer for next week and then get into it. If that's what they doing, this is gonna be a long ass season. But you know what? I'm coming into it with a much better disposition. I'm taking a lot less personal, even though some of y'all still trying it. But guess what? My black hand is hella strong in 2024. It's getting real easy. Boom. And we're gonna keep it moving. While this episode definitely gave 6 for me, gave 5.5 for Allie. I'm still excited. I'm still approaching it with an enthusiasm and all of that. There were definitely moments of like them just trying to bridge the gap, and like you could see where the new writers were trying to launch their stories, but also still trying to be accountable to the stories that came before it, and not be too jarring in launching these girls off into different spaces. So I appreciate them for that, and you know, that's dope. Um, but yeah, they could try to play with Karen if they want
Yeah,
to. At this point, I would tune all these hoes out and just tune into the episodes to watch her at the damn salon with Pam, and I'm
girl,
fine with that.
that's how I would. Because I said, okay, when I read the synopsis for episode 2, I was like, oh, so all because the way I read it, I just assumed it was going to be all of them
Me
together.
too. Me
Especially
too.
when you know what I'm saying. So I was like, when I saw the preview, I was like, wait a minute, Karen ain't even there, and they like they having a jolly old time. I said, oh, okay, okay, this should be
Dana says
very
I'm here
interesting
for to
because
see what
where's
explanation Gary
my
gives.
friends? Where's Angela? Fatima, you ain't got no friends.
No, she's about to be part of the sister circle. Or maybe she's about to replace
I'm not
Karen in
here
the
for
sister
it. I'm not.
circle. Is that what y'all want?
I'm not here for that.
I don't know if I'm not opposed to it,
I'm not here.
actually. I'm not opposed. Because they like to play in Karen's face as if she don't bring, and they, I mean the audience, as if she don't bring nothing to this relationship within this sister circle. When Loki she the rock, because anytime something happened, they had their asses over to Karen's house. So y'all want to go ahead and trade? Go right on ahead. This less stress in Karen's damn life. She could free herself from y'all's asses as well.
Yeah, but I'm gonna keep it cute the next week, and then I'm gonna tell you straight up. If this go how I think it possibly gonna go, I'm laying it out all bare. I ain't holding nothing back. I'm gonna cuss out every last one of them, and I don't want to. I want to enjoy them. I want to have fun with them. I do. I love all my sisters, but it's the fact that to me they have played in Karen face one too many times when it comes to this Fatima situation. And I'm not saying that they need to take sides or whatever, but I just feel like whenever it's Karen or Fatima, they side with Fatima, regardless of what it is, even if they're in the wrong. And it's just something that I'm tired of seeing, especially with Andi. She's been so dismissive for me a lot of times with Karen's feelings, and when it comes to this whole situation. And I ain't gonna say haven't forgiven the character of Andi, but I still be looking at Andi sideways over that picture situation. Like, you left your
Mm-hmm.
friend out there just for the attack, and you knew and didn't say anything. Like,
Yep. Exactly that. Exactly
Mm-mm.
that. I believe Zach said the Karen's baby's name is going to be Zach Jr., if I'm not mistaken. Somebody asked who said Zach
Yeah,
Jr. I think Zach said it, and then Fatima might have heard him or something.
yeah, because I think she was sitting at the table when he said it, and she kind of gave him a look, like, oh, okay.
Yeah, Tiff Jones says he stated he wants to set up a trust for Mikey and Zach Jr. I'm curious if we know if it's a boy or wishful thinking on Zach's part. I think it's wishful thinking on Zach's part. I'm here to see what explanation Gary gives when being caught with the excitable panties. This is what I will definitely end on. I'm disappointed in Penelope. I actually was rooting for her and had higher hopes for her. I did not realize that they were going to go this direction. Like I was, speculating that she was still going to be with Gary or attached with him for some reason. But like for like to serve a purpose or like to get to the as a means to end, right? But to watch her be so meek and like allow him to railroad her and disrespect her and hush her, and then now to walk in and watch him sexually pleasuring himself in his ex's bathroom with her panties, and the idea that you just gonna be okay, like, girl, you so weak in the knees, stand up. That's where
Yeah,
I'm at
yeah,
with Penelope. And I'm like, well, this is what you get, Erica, because she not a main sister any damn way, so you shouldn't have invested too much into her or gave a damn. But alas. Any last thoughts for you, Allie?
as you stated, I feel like the writers definitely tried to bridge the gap between what we have been accustomed to and then what they are trying to do. I do pray that next week, I think with this episode, it was a lot of scenes. Like, it was a lot of scenes like just happening. So I hope we do get more of a cohesive flow
Mm-hmm.
next week. But I do understand the writers have a lot to make up for.
Yeah.
So I'm giving them a lot of grace. But I do want them to make take all those things out that just don't make sense. Like,
Yeah.
I understand it's a show, I get it, but please, let's continuity is a thing, and we should all use it in writing. But other than that, like, it wasn't like the worst episode for me. Um, but I am here for. I did miss seeing Gary and Tamara and Hayden to find out what happened with
Oh.
that. But I
Mm-hmm.
know we'll see him next week.
Yep.
We'll see him next week.
Yeah,
Um,
y'all. Well, that is Our Sister's Keeper Season 2, Episode 1. Again, thank you so much for your patience when it comes to the technical difficulties we experienced on this live. I am going to definitely work very hard to eradicate them by next week. As you can see, we have a different look and a different feel. We are always trying to elevate. I'm always trying to push and do more. Like, I'm just so appreciative to have you guys here. I'm like 100 subscribers away from 34,000, and we're like climbing very quickly. And I'm like so grateful to all of you amazing people. There's so many new people. There's like 2,000 new people in the last 2 weeks that have subscribed specifically around my sister's content. So welcome in. It typically runs a little bit
that's what's
smoother
up.
than this. I'ma tighten up. Me and Allie go get together and tighten up so that we can really flow and really kick it and continue to have these conversations. Again, we appreciate y'all. Just know that this is a space for us to dialogue and to unpack and to process This is not the place for the people who think it's just a TV show or it's just a film. This is a place for people who resonate with the things that they're consuming in media, even in social media, and they relate it to real life. They relate it to their lived experience. They relate it to things that they might not have experienced but don't want to experience. Like, I'm a big advocate for learning from things that you see. Like, you don't always have to go through the trenches to get the lesson from the thing that's at the bottom of the trench. If somebody next to you or somebody in front of you or somebody that you're watching on television is doing it, you can literally learn from it. And that's partially, well, maybe actually mainly the goal that I had when we decided to launch our Sister's Keeper and when I partnered with Allie, because I wanted to have these conversations in such a real way that's grounded in like a woman's perspective, that's not afraid to go there and not afraid to be honest and to be real and maybe be wrong, but then also to be right, to process and unpack. Because all of this, whether it's watching the show and feeling your feelings, whether it's negative or positive, or coming onto this live after show, or Allie and I coming up with our breakdowns and our predictions and preview, all of it is information and resources that we all can actually use to make our lives better, to align ourselves with our best and highest self based off of how we use these things. And, you know, that is a big, big, important thing for me on this platform with this particular vertical of content. I hope that y'all are enjoying it. I appreciate you, Allie, for being here. We're starting season 2. We're just kind of rolling with it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I enjoy it. And I think too also for the new people, the one thing I do like about one of the things I do enjoy about our Sister's Keeper is that it is a safe space for people to express how they feel, whether they are in agreement or whether they have a contrary thought or perspective. I do enjoy this. I do enjoy reading contrary perspectives because you might make me see something I never thought about, or I'm like, I never thought about it like that. Okay, yeah. So I do enjoy that. So I just, I know some people watch and don't comment. That's good too. No, that's fine. But definitely, if we say something that's engaging, which you will find that a lot of revelations come out on this platform.
Yep.
Things from the past, things that we've overcome, things that we have matured out of different seasons in life. And I think that's the beauty of it. I think in tying that into this show, Sisters is the perfect combination because yes, these storylines can get on our nerves, and yes, you know, when Tyler was at the helm, things were a little bit shaky. But overall, it is a great show to discuss and dissect and, you know, bring people together, which is the one thing I do really enjoy about it. But yeah, thank you guys for being supportive and encouraging. It is greatly appreciated, and it is not taken lightly. So thank you.
If you're not already, be sure to subscribe to Allie's channel at Allie Nick Official. Link in the description box down below. We love you guys. Happy New Year. Stay safe. Look out for our breakdowns and previews
Yes.
for next week, dropping in the next 2 days. And we're going to see you in the next video.
See y'all later.